he walks into actually the old Hambo double brilliancy. But oftentimes these moves will present themselves when you've already done everything else right. We were up a piece, we had a good opening, his queen was way on the other side of the board, we lined up our bishops, we were all set to go. We got the old back-to-back brilliancy, not too common. All right, we got the white pieces again. Nice, nice. What do we think here? All right, I'll start with a d4 this time. See what he wants to do. All right, we see a lot of requests for the stone wall. Let's give it a go. I'll play e3, which is my usual move to initiate contact with the stone wall. e3 and bishop to d3. And we want to play f4, we want to play knight f3, but as usual, my recommendation for the stone wall is control the e4 square. And this move, quite irrelevant. Let's just play the move that we know is part of our setup anyway. c3, I'm not gonna get preoccupied with checks. c6 or knight c6 both protect the bishop. So queen a4, no need, just keep it real simple with f4. Get our standard starting position for the stone wall. Our knight comes to f3, jumps into e5. I mean, I'm not even gonna get a chance to play my full stone wall here because I'm sorry, I gotta go take this piece. It's mandatory. You're gonna play b6, I gotta go take your bishop. It was trapped. Don't worry though, I still got that knight coming in. It's still gonna be a participant in this game. c5 again. I'm sorry, I gotta put our great idea on hold because my opponent has just blundered non-stop. I'm gonna take. I have to take, and I'm gonna take again. I think this has just been I don't know, I want to say like a game from hell for my opponent here. It felt like a game that would have gone well for him, but when he played bishop a5, I already had a bad feeling for him, and it's like, okay, maybe this was supposed to be a stonewall game for me, but I mean, if your opponent's blundering pieces, you can't just ignore them. If you see the free piece, take a free piece. So here, if I take queen takes d4 and I play knight b3, I think there's a super high chance that my opponent blunders. Because after queen takes d4, he's hitting my pawn, my bishop, my pawn, and my rook. And knight b3 covers all of them. So the chances that he blunders after that are, I want to say 100%. There's no way he doesn't blunder something. One move that covers everything, it's a guaranteed mistake incoming. Must be. Let's see if he saves his queen on this move. And then I'll say that he didn't blunder. Because right now I'm still skeptical. But I think I'm leaning towards no blunder based on queen b4. And I mean, it'll always blow my mind why people queue up for a 15-minute game and bullet their moves. Like, what are people doing, right? What are people doing? Just go queue up for a bullet game. Clearly he wants to play bullet. I just don't get it. I'm gonna continue developing. Still, credit to him not blundering there. After queen d4, knight b3, I gotta say I'm impressed. Not gonna lie. I am impressed that we haven't seen a blunder there. Knight c6. Okay. Think I'll get the bishop here. I just want them pointed in the direction of the king. Get them pointed in the general direction. Well, I think takes and bishop h7 and knight g5 works. Pretty sure that it does, so I think I'm gonna go for that. It's just kind of, I wouldn't say it's a super common pattern, but I think he's got so much going on over here that I don't think there's enough near his king. So I'm gonna try it, just kind of trust my instinct here. King h7, knight g5. Takes, we would play queen h5, king g7 takes. This is very similar though, because I'm gonna threaten basically checkmate. So he kind of has to take my knight. And then the point is I'm gonna take it, force him to the side of the board, and then mate him with my rook lift. And he can play e5 to stop it for just a moment, but I ultimately don't think it's gonna change anything. So this is checkmate in one. Not a single move prevents it except for e5, and then queen h6, rook g3 is checkmate in, I don't know, whatever that is, 3 moves or something. Plus, after this, I could also play f5, which will checkmate on the next move, unless he plays bishop takes f5. Yeah, and this move is kind of irrelevant because nothing's coming over there, so rook h3. Yeah, I think that was I mean, obviously it's not forced. He doesn't have to capture all my pieces, but I think it worked because, yeah, knight g5 and queen h5 looked more or less forced. Let's have a look. So stonewall, c3. I mean, this is already a big mistake. It would be the same thing as me playing bishop b5. It's just useless, right? If c6, it just repels my bishop. There's no point in doing that. Bishop a5 here. So now our stonewall is set up, honestly, perfectly. This is a really good spot for us. b6 just, yeah, like I said, blunders big time. He goes here. We take everything. He goes d4. We decided to take and go here. I think at this point, I mean, he was pretty much bulleting these moves. So we go like this, and we kind of set everything up. We castle, of course. Bishop c3. We want to point all our pieces in the right direction. And then after he goes bishop to d7, I actually think these moves are extremely good. And he walks into actually the old Hambo double brilliancy. Bishop takes h7, brilliant. King takes h7, knight g5 check, brilliant. Well, I guess that's confirmation. It was pretty damn good. Didn't matter where he put his king. I mean, if he put king g7, it wouldn't have really mattered because my next queen moves are going to force him to take this knight. And then once he takes the knight, he's going to get mated the exact same way as the game. Same thing here. If he had taken it, we would have checked and checked. The king would have to move, and rook f3 always delivers mate there. So it's not really a way, like, of course it's not fully forced because he could, I don't know, try king h6 or like some tricky move, but my queen would come out, the rook is still lifting. I think it's still completely winning. So he goes here, but then queen h5. He must take now because of mate. So he has to take. And then, yeah, rook f3 will lead to mate by force. e5 was the most resilient. But like I said, queen h6 check, rook g3, and rook g4 is game over. So that was a nice game. But oftentimes these moves will present themselves when you've already done everything else right. We were up a piece, we had a good opening, his queen was way on the other side of the board, we lined up our bishops, we were all set to go. We got the old back-to-back brilliancy, not too common. A nice checkmate. Definitely a very successful stonewall, that's for sure. Oh, that's literally a beautiful thing, Tim. You get back-to-back brilliancies, 3 in a row sounds very hard to achieve, honestly. For any rating, doesn't really matter. You can get brilliancies at any elo, that's for sure. Nothing makes you feel better than that. Ooh, that tingling sensation when you uncork a couple brilliancies there. The color is just so satisfying. It's that light, that energetic light blue. But that was a nice game. Punished our opponent for being too reckless in the opening, just putting his bishop on the side of the board and then just trapping it with b6.